G'day everyone, Jason Nunn with an early long weekend fishing report, proudly brought to you by Fisherman's Warehouse Marine, Sweet Street at Warners Bay. And of course, being Thursday, the early one, the birthday weekend this weekend, looking behind me here, you can see this cloud. Now down towards the Central Coast, Sydney, Wollongong, Nowra in particular, they're absolutely getting hammered by this offshore sort of low pressure system. Seems to be deepening. We're going to get a shower this afternoon, but it's west-south-west, so it's not so bad. Tomorrow being Friday, look, it's going to be again that west sort of northwest wind into Saturday, Sunday, and a little bit of a sou'wester with your long weekend Monday. But really, we're going to be on the top edge of this rain event. We might have a few showers, but I don't think it's going to greatly affect what we're going to do. There still might be a little bit of swell offshore, and obviously with west nor'westers or sou'westers, the further you go out, the worse the conditions will be. But I think we can certainly save it now with some incredibly big high tides are going to happen, will certainly happen last night and tonight. Tonight is a 205 high tide at around about 8 o'clock, just a tad after 8. Now last night it was a 203, tonight is a 205, so you will certainly expect to see minor flooding in and around the low-lying areas as the lake is very high at the moment with the low pressure system. And obviously we've had a lot of rain as well, so just expect that through a lot of the low-lying areas. There's certainly Swansea behind me here, and definitely in town Carrington and alike. Now, reports coming in. Those that did have an opportunity to get out middle of the week before this change sort of started to move in, got some really nice reds on the inshore. Now, a lot of these fish up to around about 2 kilo, and the same situation happened late last week. I spoke to Darren Ham through the week. He fished up towards Broughton last week and picked that little bit of a gap. Bag limit catches of reds all up to around about that 2 kilo mark, and that's exactly what's basically happening off Ope out of the coastline here. I still think you may be able to get out to the farm or that deeper water perhaps very late on Sunday, but certainly Monday will present itself a little bit better, because really Saturday into the early part of Sunday you're going to have around about 15 to 20 knot west nor'westers, so it's going to be a little bit blustery. So I think that inshore fishery is where you want to fish, and particularly with these tides, you've got some really nice tides. You've got basically an 8 o'clock high tide today, being Thursday, 9 o'clock tomorrow, and 10 o'clock on Saturday. So we've got some really nice tides starting to move through, and those low tides are not going to really cause too many problems, being basically the early part like 2, 3, and 4 o'clock. I think the morning fishing will be the best by far for my mind, and fishing on those inshore, so snapper, trag, definitely a few mulloway of course, but we're seeing a few trevally start to turn up and quite a few flathead still around on those edges. The beaches have been hard to get reports, guys, because we've just had so much swell and minimal opportunity to get up there. But give you an example, on Monday when I came home, there was a lot of birds working out there in Salts Bay, a hell of a lot of birds. So it tells me that the salmon are now starting to move in. That green waterline was pushing up against the brown water just on the change of the tide. And even this morning I noticed on that run-in tide that there was a lot better colour in the channel. So the high tide really going to be the pick. So if you're going to fish the beaches this weekend, it doesn't look too bad. There's not a lot of swell. Again, bream, salmon, tailor moved in. Definitely the rocks is worth a go, but just have to be a little bit mindful of it. There have been a few drummer around, and they will probably continue now, but some really nice luderick and bream, and early some tailor. Now, talking of tailor, there's some very big tailor in the lake. I had an opportunity to fish Tuesday afternoon, ran into a few of the boys I know. Big Jai Hemming was down there around the islands. A lot of salmon down there, but there was some really nice tailor in amongst the salmon. The best one I got was 66, so there's some really good quality fish down there at the present moment, and all the reports coming in. Stevie Norris had a bit of a fish. He was down the lake yesterday, a dozen nice flathead. And I spoke to Cooper from Day Tripping Charters today, and basically he's been getting some really nice fish down that southern lake south of Pulborough Island, and a lot of flathead mixed in with some very nice fish in those mid-60s, but a lot of small mulloway, and that tends to be a bit of a trend where you've got lots of birds working, you've got the bait schools all through there, and there's a lot of variant in the size of the mulloway. Some better fish, 75s up to 95, certainly mixed in with them. Those guys that are fishing of an evening are getting some better fish, but a lot of smaller school fish, particularly down south. So it's good to see that real variety of size, but an incredible amount of flathead. I know Wayne Flanagan got a few also this week, so we're really seeing a lot more consistency with this estuary fishing. And I think the estuary fishing and that inshore fishery this weekend will be perfect. Some beautiful brim on the flats. And again, those early morning tides, places like Nesca Park and up around Marks Point, those areas there, really going to be a key for some of these quality brim. And look, oily base baits, pillies, mullet strips, that sort of stuff. Bonito, if you've got it, that's the type of bait that you'll use and you'll be very effective with. All in all, guys, enjoy the weekend. I know Paddy's we've put out a lot of our old fishing tackle from Marks Point down at our new, well, basically at the marine business down there at Warners Bay. There's a lot of half-price hard bodies down there at the moment, guys. So if you're after a tail dancer, rip on down. Tail dancer's half price, brings it back to about $15. Super value. I'm going to have a birthday celebration on Sunday. I'll see you next Friday when I'll be a year older. Enjoy the weekend. Looks like we've been saved by the weatherman. I'll see you then.